right, everybody, welcome into the hot mic. Let me try and bring this down just a little bit. All right, how about that? How about that? How about this? 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. Welcome, everybody, to the high noon stream here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. I am Pugs Moran. I do this every Monday through Friday, noon till whenever. Typically 2 o'clock, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. We know it all depends on what the hell it is that's happening in the world today, because that's what this show is about. If it's happening out there in the world today, I try and give it to you here in a nice little bite-sized morsel. It's trending topics, headlines, current events, anything that people are buzzing about. We jump in. Here's how I'll throw out the topic. I'll say, hey, people talking about this. Here's what it's about. Here's what I think. Boom, we move on to the next one. And it's boom, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Jeff Ballard finally back. I took a week off in July, Jeff. Oh, you people. He's finally back. Mike sounds a little bit weird to me today. Does it sound weird to you guys? Does it sound okay? It's been it's been a while since I've done this. My mic seems like ultra sensitive to me today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, that's not it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe what? Can I yell? Can I yell and not have feedback? No, that's still kind of a little bit of a problem. Hold on, let's try these. That's way too low. That ain't good. There you go. That's good. How about some applause? Okay, that seems all right. All right, we're just going to move forward. Yeah, I am. I'm back. I know. I took last week off. I'm sorry. I had a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's summer. Everybody's alive. I've been doing 5 shows a week every day since last September. Took a week off. And I didn't even intend to take a week off. I have to apologize. There was sort of a weird fluid schedule thing happening last week where days I thought I was going to be available, I suddenly was not available. So I do apologize, but we're back to normal. We're going to be doing, although we're not totally back to normal, it is still in some way summer rules applying here. Just so happens I don't have my kid today. He went back and he's coming back tomorrow. So yeah, but don't worry, we'll do a show tomorrow, and I have every intention of. It's my birthday week. You know I got to do a show on my birthday week. Please, who loves my birthday more than me? Nobody. So maybe my kid, because my kid gets stuff on my birthday because I always do stuff, and it's like it's my birthday. Let's go to Six Flags, so he likes it too. But yeah, so there you have it. Okay, so we're back to doing regular shows. We may miss a show this week. I'll let you know as that becomes, but again, we're still on summer rules. We'll get back into the normal grind of things, but it is good to be back. Okay, so this is the first of 2 streams we do every day. The second stream is called Pillow Talk. That's me and James Parker. We come on at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Ed's coming to town. Ed's supposed to be arriving here at the 1%er compound in beautiful Highland Park, Texas, sometime tonight, sometime around the Pillow Talk show. He wants to take me to Bob's. You do not have to take me to Bob's. You know what? Take me to take me to Jersey Mike's. We don't have to go to Bob's. And I'm gonna have my kid. I'm not gonna have you taking my kid to Bob's. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's too expensive. It's just not the kind of But yeah, maybe we can figure out a time where we can go to Bob's, because I would totally be down for a nice steak dinner at Bob's. It's walking distance. We can walk there, and then you walk it off on your way home. It's beautiful. All right, the Pillow Talk show comes on at 9 p.m. every night. That's Monday through Thursday. That's myself and James Parker. And tonight on Pillow Talk, I believe it's a Kelly Moore Monday. My former partner, Kelly Moore, joins us on Mondays. I don't know. I haven't checked up on it. I assume she's going to be on tonight. So that's what we have. Okay, everything there. That's all out of the way. Let's get into what today's show is all about. It is the High Noon Show for the 18th day of July, year of our Lord 2022. July 18th is are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? The 199th day of the year. That means tomorrow's 200. Tomorrow's big. Day 200, only 165 left after tomorrow, 166 left after today. Let's see. We start out each show by going through. I got to do something about the camera. See, here's the thing with the camera. I think I should be looking at the camera, although me head on, me profile, also, but still maybe a little less. But I'm trying to get the. 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're back. Uh, yeah, having a little technical issue here, but that's all right because that'll be here. That'll be here to fix all of the little rinky-dink issues that we have going on here on the show. I forgot what I was saying. I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by my sudden crash of my Zoom box. Don't worry, Ed. It's not the Zoom box. It's the connector. It's the power connector. And we got a bit of a problem there with the power connector. It seems to be wiggy. All right. So where was I? First thing that we do on the daily high noon show is we like to run through all the things that happened on this day. What makes July the 18th such a spectacular day in history? Well, let's get started. 1925, Adolf Hitler rocks the publishing world. Not really. Published Mein Kampf. Mein Kampf, My Struggle, which is the translation of it. I read Mein Kampf. What? What are you talking about? You read Mein Kampf. I read Mein Kampf. Well, I didn't read Mein Kampf. When I was in college, I attempted to read Mein Kampf. Look, I've read the Satanic Bible. I've given all the books. I've given all the controversial and provocative pieces of literature that's been published throughout the years a shot. I've tried to check them out. Satanic Bible. It's not what you think it is, but I'm just saying it's not. That was my takeaway. My takeaway from reading Antoine LaFay's Satanic Bible was, wow, this was really just titled that to freak people out. This is a self-help book. I mean, it really is. I would never even pick up the Satanic Bible. Stop it, you silly billies. It's just a self-help book, and it's been demonized because the dude who wrote it was a weirdo. Now, I'm not saying it's good self-help. I'm not saying it's stuff that you should all, but I'm just saying it's not exactly like to evil what the Christian Bible is to good. It's not like that. It's not that kind of a thing. But anyway, Mein Kampf, tried to read like the first. I did. I gave it a treat. It was so boring. Hitler was probably about as good a writer as he was an artist. And I understand that he was a very bad artist. People thought that he was not good at all, and that's what drove him mad because he wanted to be an artist and a creator. He'd be on YouTube. Hitler would be on YouTube today as a content creator were he alive in this era. And him being told that he sucked at being an artist is, they say, one of the things that made him have this complete mental decline. So there you have it. On this day, he wrote the stupid, boring book. Just, oh, you narcissist. This is so all about you and not being able to be a famous artist. That's what Mein Kampf is. On this day in 1925, on this day, nothing happened for like 50 years apparently, because then in 1976, on this day, Nadia Comaneci becomes the first person in Olympic history to score a perfect 10 in gymnastics. This came at the 1976 Summer Olympics. I remember Nadia Comaneci. I remember, wasn't her performance in gymnastics was to a song that was a song on a soap opera. It was a soap opera from the 70s. There was a soap opera. I don't know what it was called, but they had a very famous theme song, probably even more famous than the soap opera. And Nadia did her performance at the Olympics to the soap opera theme song. That's all I remember. I was like 5. What do I know? 6? I don't know. It was a big thing. Everybody was talking about this little Romanian gymnast. So that was all I knew was that, hey, I know that song. My mom watches that show. I don't know what it was, but the song became so associated with Nadia Comaneci and her perfect 10 performance that it became known as Nadia's theme, even though it wasn't. It had been for years the theme to a soap opera in America. On this day in 1984, the McDonald's massacre in San Ysidro, California. James Oliver Huberty opens fire, killing 21 people and injuring 19 others before being shot dead by police. Now, first of all, 21 is we know that number. That's an ugly number. That's not a good number. But in 1984, when this happened, there had only been, okay, so we had 2 situations in Texas, really, that we knew about. We knew about the University of Texas shooter, the guy the clock tower shooter. We knew about that guy. That happened in the late 60s. And then in the 80s, There was the Luby's massacre. You remember the Luby's massacre here in Texas? Was that in Killeen? I think. I don't know. You guys here probably know more about that than. Is Okay, so why am I on the laptop mic? All right, sorry. See, it pays to look at the chat room every now and again. Let me try and fix this again. Shit. Okay. All right, guys. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna bear with me for a moment, okay? Bear with me for a moment. I'm gonna try and do something and see if I can fix this. Bear with me. All right. Any better? Let me know in the chat room. Is this any better? Am I on the regular mic now? Let me know. Let's see here. This delay is terrible. How terrible is this delay? What a useless delay. If I say something I don't want out there, that's good. We're back. Okay. Thank you, Melissa, for being the one person to help me out here. Yeah. Okay. We're back. I don't know. I got a bit of an issue here. We'll figure it out. I've been dealing with it for about a week now. So the McDonald's massacre that happened in Ysidro, California, not a big thing. I mean, hello. All right, let's try this now. Okay. All right. Now, once again, chat room. Does this sound okay? Does this sound better? I just did something and I think it should work. Here's what I'm going to do. It's like 101 degrees outside and the dog is barking. And I know it's going to take like a minute for the chat room to hear my request. Does this sound proper? Okay. Be right back. Come on. Get in. Go lay down. All right. Thank you, Dustin. Normal now. All right. All right. Here is the, all right. Very good. We're back to normal. All right. Ed, if you're listening, here's the issue that we have. The power cord to the Zoom box got a little hinky. I was trying to fix it, and about a week ago it stopped working. So I'm basically on battery power. So I'm just switching out batteries into the unit. So if you want to send me like a link, I can just go ahead and order a new power cord for the Zoom box. There you go. All right, enough of that. Back to what happened on this day in 1984, the McDonald's massacre in San Ysidro, California. Long story short, it was rare. It was not something that happened every single week. God forbid, every single day, the way sometimes it feels like it is today. Hell, just yesterday, we had another one. We'll talk about that in the trending topics. It was unheard of. In 1984, dude drives to a McDonald's in California, walks in, pulls out a gun, and just starts killing people. 1984. On this day in 1992, a picture of Les Horribles Cernettes was taken. Why is that a big deal? Well, why is a big deal of a picture in 92 of Les Horribles Cernettes being taken? Because it became the first photo ever uploaded to the World Wide Web. That's right. Let's take a look at it, shall we? Here we go. Excuse me. Where is it? I'll pull this up for you. Les Horribles Cernettes. All right, so here's the picture. This is the first picture that was ever put up on the World Wide Web. It happened on this day. Here we go, and boom. That's right. You'd think it would be like you think Les Horribles Cernettes. Oh, that's obviously some famous opera from the late 1850s. You'd think it'd be like something. Now, what this was Les Horribles Cernettes. They were here, I'll tell you exactly what they were. They were like a group of women who worked for, let's just pull it up. There you go, I'll tell you. Les Horribles Cernettes. The Horrible CERN Girls is basically what it's known as. The Horrible CERN Girls is the first picture uploaded to the internet on this day. Was an all-female parody pop group, self-labeled the one and only high-energy rock band. Okay. It was founded by employees of CERN and performed at CERN and other HEP-related events. I don't know what any of that means. I don't know. CERN is like smart nerd people. So their main claim to fame is that a photograph of them was the earliest photographic image ever to be shared on the World Wide Web. And there it is. That happened today. I can't really. All right. Very good. So that happened on this day. Let's see. What else? What else are we looking at here? On this day in 2013, the government of Detroit, with $20 billion in debt, files for bankruptcy, the largest municipal bankruptcy filing in the history of the United States. And it's all fixed now. I don't know. I've been to Detroit a couple of times. I never really got the knock on Detroit. Every time I've been to Detroit, I've had a good time. Yeah, and I'm alive. I've never been murdered. Then again, I spent, 4 decades in Chicago, survived that. So let's see here. Births. Let's celebrate some birthdays. Born on this day in 1867. We typically don't go this far deep, but why not when it's a relative of mine? That's right, a relative of mine. Margaret Brown was born on this day in 1867. She's a famous American philanthropist and activist. She died in 1932. Margaret Brown is... she's related to me. Margaret Brown was born in, are you ready for this? St. Albans, Ireland, by the name of Margaret Mary Tobin. She went by Maggie Tobin. I have an aunt named Maggie Tobin. She went by Maggie Tobin most of her life. She married a rich American, and she came over here, and she started going by Molly, and the man she married, last name was Brown. Yeah, that's right. She is the unsinkable Margaret Molly Brown. She's a Kathy Bates played her in the Titanic movie. You see? Yeah, she's like a relative of mine. She comes from the same place in Ireland, same name, has a bunch of family names. I have no actual genetic proof of this, but, I've done the research. So I'm saying she's like a distant cousin. Margaret Brown, the unsinkable Molly Brown, born on this day in 1867. Distant cousin of mine in some way, shape, or form. Born on this day in 1895, Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun, not the guy married to Megan Fox, not the current rapper using the name Machine Gun Kelly. The original Machine Gun Kelly. He was a gangster, a bootlegger. He was born on this day in 1895. Born on this day in 1918, Nelson Mandela. It's Nelson Mandela Day. We don't do the day calendars anymore, but today is Nelson Mandela Day. Nelson Mandela was a South African lawyer and politician. He was the first president of South Africa. He was a Nobel Prize laureate. He died a bunch of years ago. He died back in 2013. Born on this day in 1921, John Glenn, Senator John Glenn. Which is better? Which Senator bigger than Colonel? I don't know. What would he go? Would he go by Senator John Glenn, or would he go by Colonel Senator John? Boy, imagine if he was a doctor too. That'd be weird. Colonel, Doctor, Senator John Glenn. I don't know. Best astronaut. Some might say John Glenn was the best astronaut. Some might say that he was just the product of publicity because he was good looking and he was really well spoken, and he wasn't like one of these crazy wild all the other astronauts were wild men. They were crazy guys. They were test pilots. They partied. Not John Glenn. John Glenn was a military guy. He was very studious. He was very serious. John Glenn, born on this day in 1921. Born on this day in 1937, Hunter S. Thompson, American journalist and author. I used to love, in my younger days, I loved Hunter Thompson. And then as I got older, I realized that this was just a guy who needed to be on meds. I mean, and not the meds that he was on, because he self-prescribed for all manner of mental illness his entire life. And those self-prescriptions were typically just mushrooms that he grew in his backyard. Hunter Thompson was a crazy person. And when I think back to me being like 23, 24, how much I thought he was, that's the way to live. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Hunter Thompson died tragically by his own hand, depressed, sad, old, broken. I mean, he lived life. Look, I guess I'm going to work through this in my head live here on the stream. I guess if he lived his life the way he wanted and he didn't hurt people. Oh, he hurt people. Yeah, you're probably right. I bet he hurt a lot of people. I mean, not physically, but just, his presence. Anyway, Hunter Thompson. I used to really, really admire him. Now I just think he's a good writer. Good writer because he's crazy. Crazy people make good things. Crazy people. When you're insane, you see the world in a different way. And if you're a pool cleaner and you see the world in a different way, that doesn't work out for you. But when you're an artist, when you're a creator, and you are batshit nuts, and you see things in different ways, well, there you go. Now you've got a confluence of certain situations that are going to create some all-time great art. Hunter S. Thompson did that. Kanye's another example of that. People are confused about Kanye. I think we all agree that Kanye is a lunatic, right? But he's a musical genius. I'm sorry. If you first of all, dude, if your favorite band is Grand Funk Railroad, shut the fuck up about Kanye West, okay? You are in no position to have any take on his abilities in the genre of music that he chooses to perform in. He's a freaking genius. He really is. He does shit in the studio with his stuff that is just mind-blowingly cool. And he's a batshit crazy lunatic when he's walking the street. That's just what happens. So, there you go. Happy birthday, Hunter Thompson. You were crazy and you wrote some good books, but I wouldn't want to have to, I wouldn't want to go on a long car ride with Hunter Thompson. I think that might be a problem. Born on this day in 1950, how about Richard Branson? English businessman, founded Virgin Records, Virgin Group. He's an astronaut man now. I don't know. He does all that stuff. Also born on this day, Margot Martindale. Why do I mention her? Because she's a candidate. She is quickly approaching national treasure status. Margot Martindale, everything that she's in, she is great in. You may not even know who she is. So at this point, I would say just pull up a Google window in the stream and just type in Margot Martindale. Kind of like Wink Martindale, Margot Martindale. And when you see her, you're going to go, I know that lady. That lady's awesome. She is. She's awesome. Born on this day in 1961, Elizabeth McGovern, American actress. Elizabeth, she's another one of these. There's a whole slew. I come from the 80s. There's a whole slew of women who were big, famous A-list actresses in the 1980s who just vanished. Elizabeth McGovern is one of them. Elizabeth McGovern just vanished. She was an A-list actress. She was doing like big movies and being nominated for things. Beautiful. And then suddenly, I don't know what, she hit 40 and it was like, yeah, you can't be in movies anymore. So, I don't know what she's doing now, but there you go. Elizabeth McGovern, born on this day in 1961. Born on this day in 1964, Wendy Williams, American talk show host. I don't know anything about Wendy Williams other than years ago. I remember when she was in radio. I remember when she was a pretty successful radio host in New York City. So she was on my radar for that reason. But then she became a TV star. Like, I've never seen the Wendy Williams show. I've seen her. She seems fun. She seems real fun. And that's kind of the issue. What is her problem, right? Wendy Williams has she's suspended her TV show or she's been fired from her TV show. James Parker seems to know a lot about Wendy Williams. I don't know why. I don't know why he would. But apparently she's in and out of rehab. She lives in a halfway house. I don't know. Wendy, have a nice birthday, Wendy Williams. I hope you get your stuff together because from what I've been able to gather, you've been a train wreck these past couple of years. Dan O'Brien was born on this day in 1966. You know who Dan O'Brien is? Do you remember was it 1994, 1996? I don't know. I don't want to do Olympic math, but it was either 94 or 96. Dan O'Brien was the favored American to win the decathlon. He was at the point going into the Olympics, he was considered the world's greatest athlete, and NBC banked all of their promotion of the upcoming summer games around Dan O'Brien. It was Dan O'Brien. And then Reebok got involved and did an even bigger ad campaign, which was do you guys remember the Dan and Dave campaign? It was Dan O'Brien and Dave somebody else. They were two Olympic athletes, and the premise of the Reebok ad was that they both were Reebok athletes. They both wore Reebok, and that who would win? This is not a competition. This is all for America. Whatever. Okay, so Dan and Dave were hyped. And then a week before the Olympics, at some Olympic trial thing in New Orleans, Dan O'Brien, in the high jump, decided that he was going to pass. Now, apparently you can pass on the low, the high jump, jump over 4 feet. Good. Next time, jump over 5 feet. Okay, good. Next time, jump over 5 foot 5 feet. Okay, next time, jump over 5 foot 9 feet. It's progressive. So on the lower levels, on the lower jumps, the lower attempts, Dan O'Brien at this Olympic qualifier, the arrogance, passed on all 4 of the lower jumps. He said, I can do that. His first jump came at, I want to say 5, I don't even know, 6 foot. I don't know what it was. His first jump, he failed to clear it. He said, you know what, these lower ones, I don't need to work my way up. Just start me up at the highest. I'm Dan O'Brien. I'm the world's greatest athlete. And he shit the bed. He shit the bed in 4 consecutive attempts to clear he didn't qualify for the Olympics. That's right. All of the Reebok hype, all of the NBC hype, Dan and Dave. Oh, it's Dave and Dan. It's Dan O'Brien. All of that hype, millions and millions of dollars of publicity just thrown out the window because this guy, Dan O'Brien, decided, I can do the early ones. Just give me the tough guy ones. Give me the high bars. And he failed. And he didn't even make the Olympics. Dave ended up winning a bronze. I mean, that was a major, major mistake. Well, but what are you going to do? Dan O'Brien, have a good birthday. You'll never live that down. Not in the hearts and minds of we Americans. Vin Diesel celebrating a birthday today, born in 1967, American actor, director, producer, and screenwriter. Yeah, I like Vin Diesel. Screw you. I think Vin Diesel's cool. Born on this day in 1980. It's all about this. It's all about this. All the birthdays lead up to this one. First of all, okay, so she's 42. She's 42 today. One of my absolute favorite people on earth. Met her once. She wasn't famous yet. She was famous, but she wasn't famous. And she was so nice. She was so funny and smiley and just big energy and just was willing to talk about whatever I wanted to talk about. Kristen Bell, the great Kristen Bell, is celebrating a birthday today. I adore Kristen Bell. You know, Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard are my favorite Hollywood couple. I have a list. I have Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard. They're my favorite Hollywood couple. Now, they used to be my second favorite Hollywood couple. My favorite Hollywood couple was Jason Sudeikis and Olivia Wilde. But Olivia Wilde had to go run off with Harry Styles, so they had to be eliminated. They're gone. So that moved Dax Shepard and his wife Kristen Bell into the number one slot. Love them. No, number two. Now, who gets moved up to number two? That would be Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. I like them. They seem like a fun Hollywood couple. Kristen Bell. What can I tell you? Kristen Bell draft. You're damn right. And we're going to do performances. We're not going to just do movies because we're talking about a lady that is so... she does movies. She does TV. Oh, she's just so delightful. And did I mention she's beautiful? I didn't mention she's beautiful. She's beautiful, but that's not it. The whole thing is just her energy. She is so awesome. And because I've enjoyed her now all of these years on television, and I have, a one-on-one experience with her, man, that chick is just the baddest ass chick out there. Tiny too. Tiny, you can pick her up, you can put her in your pocket. It's fantastic. With the first pick in the Kristen Bell performance draft, the show High Noon selects with the number one overall pick. Yeah, I know, and this was hard, but I went with it. The Good Place. The Good Place. NBC sitcom, ran for about 5 years. Just an amazing binge. Just an amazing binge. If you're looking for something to binge on Hulu, a series that you've never seen, The Good Place. The performances are just, so good. Kristen Bell, so good. Ted Danson, so good. Just unbelievably good. First pick, The Good Place. Second pick in the Kristen Bell performance draft, I'm going deep. I'm going to the time when I interviewed her. Deadwood, the HBO show Deadwood. Kristen Bell played a character on Deadwood that first she played this. Okay, so she was like this sad, pretty little teenage orphan girl who arrived in the town of Deadwood, and she was all innocent and sweet and all that kind of stuff, and everybody felt they needed to protect her. And it turned out she was a con. She was a monster. She was like a prostitute, terrible, horrible person. Ooh, Kristen Bell, Deadwood. Such a good story. I don't know, probably a whole season, right? Maybe, I don't know, half of the first season or only 2 seasons. I don't know. With the third pick in the Kristen Bell birthday draft, her finest performances, I am going with number 3. And this could have been number 1. This could have been number 1, but it's number 3. Could have been number 1. One of my favorite movies. One of my favorite comedies of all time. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. That's right. I love Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Not only do I love Forgetting Sarah Marshall, but I like the sequel, Get Him to the Greek, just as much I do. You can put on Forgetting Sarah Marshall and then roll right into Get Him to the Greek. And, you just got a wonderful, 3 hours? They're probably both hour-and-a-half movies. There you go. With the fourth pick in the Kristen Bell draft, we here at the High Noon Show, we're going to be taking Bad Moms. Bad Moms. I like her in those performances. I like anytime Kristen Bell breaks bad. Whenever Kristen Bell, you look at her and she looks like this innocent, sweet girl next door. You either want her as your girlfriend or your daughter-in-law, depending on your age. Whatever it is, fantastic. And then she plays these like evil, like not just evil, but self-centered, rude, no manners, no social grace, no. She belches. She's funny. Bad Moms. Good movie, fun movie. Not a Godfather, but you know what I'm saying? It's fun, and she's so good in it. Number 5. All right, this one's for you girl dads out there. How about Frozen? Huh? How about Frozen? She's the star of Frozen. And you got to put that in there because it's probably the biggest thing she's ever done. There you go. That's the 5-pick Kristen Bell talent draft, things that she's done, performances, the best things that I've seen her do. The Good Place with 1, Deadwood 2, 3 is Forgetting Sarah Marshall, 4 is Bad Moms, 5 is Frozen. Oh, but we're also going to bring in some undrafted free agents. That's right, getting a camp invite. Veronica Mars. probably most young women. That was a young woman show, but I actually caught a couple of episodes, and it's good. And there was a Veronica Mars movie. I don't know if it was a TV movie. That's what I saw. I saw the movie. This is good. It's good. It made me go, I would have watched that series. Also getting a camp invite. We're going to go. She had like a 4-part story arc on Parks and Rec. It was she was very funny in that. She played the girl from the town just over from where Parks and Rec was set, the town where all the perfect people lived. And she was one of the perfect people who lived over in the perfect people town. Very funny. We'll also Chips. Why not? We'll also bring in Chips. She worked with her husband. I love them as a couple. There you have it. Happy birthday, Kristen Bell. That's your Kristen Bell draft for today. Also celebrating a birthday, Ryan Cabrera, American singer, songwriter, and guitarist. Don't know who he is. I know he's famous. Don't know who he is. Deaths. We did have some people that died on this day. All right, we're going to start out with, this is a creepy one. Dead on this day in 1954. A name we've already mentioned. Machine Gun Kelly. That's right, Machine Gun Kelly died on his birthday. Machine Gun Kelly died on this day in 1954. I'm guessing in a hail of bullets. I'm guessing feds knew where he was going to be for some big Machine Gun Kelly birthday party, bash, dinner or something. They probably got him there. I don't know. I don't care enough. I don't care enough to pull up the Wikipedia page and look and see how he died. Or do I? No, I don't. Dead on this day in 1969, Mary Jo Kopechne. She was a secretary. She was a teacher. She was born in 1940. She died on this day in 1969. Mary Jo Kopechne was the girl in the car that cowardly Ted Kennedy swam away from. That's right. Remember Ted Kennedy? Chappaquiddick. Ted Kennedy got into a car wreck with a young lady in his car, and he drove it into a river, drove it off a bridge into a river there, or a creek or a stream. I don't know. It wasn't like he drove it into the Mississippi, but it was, still treacherous waters. And he dumps the car in there, and old Ted Kennedy, he saves his ass. He gets out of there. He swims to safety. He runs. If you watch Succession, if you watch the TV show Succession, they did a plot variation on the Chappaquiddick Mary Jo Kopechne death with Kendall, the eldest son of the family in Succession. He was at a party and he went to go buy drugs with some valet Parker because he's like a super rich billionaire kid and he's like, I need drugs. So he went to the valet Parker and the valet Parker was like, I can get some drugs. So they started driving and they had a car accident and they dumped into a body of water or river or something. And Kendall did exactly what Ted Kennedy did. He ran to his family. He said, let's cover this up. Cowardly, unbelievable cowardice. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm an Irish Catholic, and I like the Kennedys, but you don't come back from that. How the hell Ted Kennedy, after that situation where he was, what, people just don't care? We don't care about the timber of the people that we elect to high office? I mean, it's obvious to me that a guy who gets into a car accident with a pretty young thing, by the way, I think he was married at the time. I think he was cheating on his wife. So a guy who gets into a car accident with a young lady, anybody, it could be anybody, and then you just swim to survive yourself, and then you run, you don't even attempt. Whatever, there you go. It was on this day, Chappaquiddick on this day in 1969. Dead on this day in 1989, another big historical death, Rebecca Schaeffer. Rebecca Schaeffer, American model and actress, was killed today, murdered today in 1989. Now, why do we not? Who's Rebecca Schaeffer? Rebecca Schaeffer was a television actress. I think she was on a show called My Sister Sam with Pam Dauber. I think her and Pam Dauber played big sister and little sister, although she was not little. She was in her 20s. She was a grown woman. She was the first high-profile murder that sort of began the whole celebrity stalking thing. She was murdered by a stalker. She was an actress on TV and a stalker. Here, let me, this one actually, we should probably talk about a little bit. We should get the details out here because this was shocking. This was a show. I mean, I was familiar with her, right? And then it was like, holy crap, she's dead. On July 18th, 1989, 19-year-old fanatic Robert John Bardo shot and killed Schaeffer at her home in West Hollywood. At the time of her death, Bardo had been stalking her for 3 years. He had previously been obsessed with child peace activist Samantha Smith, who died in a plane crash in 1985. He then wrote numerous letters to Schaeffer, one of which she answered. In 1987, he traveled to Los Angeles hoping to meet with Schaeffer on the set of My Sister Sam. Yeah, I was right. I pulled that show right out of my ass on the set of My Sister Sam. but Warner Brothers security turned him away. He returned a month later, armed with a knife, but security guards again prevented him from gaining access. He returned to his native Tucson, Arizona, and lost focus on Schaefer for a while after his obsession shifted towards pop singer Tiffany and Debbie Gibson. Oh, and Madonna. Obsession shifted towards pop singers, Tiffany, Debbie Gibson, and Madonna. F, marry, kill, Tiffany, Debbie Gibson, Madonna. That's a tough one. That's wow. That's a tough F, marry, kill. Tiffany, Debbie Gibson, or Madonna. Because it's like, I want to just kill Madonna because it's like, okay, but she's got so much money. That might be good to marry. Although, could you imagine being married to Madonna? Debbie Gibson and Tiffany, I don't know that they could keep me in the lifestyle that I've grown accustomed to. I don't know that marrying any of them. All right, we're marrying Madonna. It'll be a loveless marriage, but whatever. And then F Debbie Gibson, kill Tiffany. There you go. Back to the horrible story about somebody actually killing somebody. You have no taste. I know, that was classless. It's dawning on me now. Bardo watched Schaefer in the black comedy, Scenes from the Class Struggle in Beverly Hills in 1989, in which she appeared in bed with another actor. He became enraged by the scene, apparently out of jealousy, and he decided that Schaefer should be punished for becoming another Hollywood whore. God, this is getting creepy. Bardo traveled to Los Angeles a third time and roamed the neighborhood where Schaefer lived, asking people if she actually lived there. Once he was certain that the address was correct, he rang the doorbell. Schaefer was preparing for an audition for The Godfather Part 3 and was expecting a script to be delivered, so she answered the door. Bardo showed her a letter and autograph that she had previously sent him. After a short conversation, she asked him not to come to her home again. He went to a diner nearby and had breakfast, then returned to her apartment an hour later. She answered the door with a cold look on her face, Bardo later said. He pulled out the handgun and shot her in the chest at point-blank range in the doorway of the apartment building she was living in. According to Bardo, she fell and said only, "Why?" Schaefer was rushed to the emergency room of Cedars-Sinai Medical, where she was pronounced dead 30 minutes after her arrival. She was buried at Ahavai Shalom Cemetery in Portland. All right, so that was it. That was sort of ground zero of the whole celebrity stalking thing. That happened on this day in 1989. And dead on this day in 2015, another guy who deserves a mention, Alex Rocco. Alex, I told you to do this with Margot Martindale. Alex Rocco, 2 C's, R-O-C-C-O. Mo Green. He was Mo Green in The Godfather. That's probably his most famous role. Mo Green takes it in the back of the eye and right there on the massage table in The Godfather. But Alex Rocco was more than Mo Green. Alex Rocco, if you watched movies and television in the 70s and 80s, Alex Rocco was in everything. That's why just pull the picture up of Alex Rocco. He died on this day in 2015. Pull a picture up. You'll go, I know that guy. That guy's awesome. That's right, he is. All right, now let's get into the trending topics. Let's talk about all of the things. I just glanced down at the clock. We are in absolute perfect time today. All right, so what's trending today? We've got a whole bunch of stuff trending. We got another mall shooting. We're going to talk about Uvalde. Ooh, we got Big Bennifer news. Ricky Martin is involved in something just so bizarre. Fox Sports is screwing things up. We'll get to all of this stuff. Okay, so these are all some of the things that are trending. Oh, also, it needs to be mentioned because we are now at the 18th of the month, middle of the month, haven't been pushing. If you want to support the show, if you want to support the streams, if you listen every day, please drop a little tip there into the either Cash App or the Venmo. You can also do the PayPal. It's just a little bit more difficult. I struggle with the PayPal. But this show runs on your tips. Think of me as your barista, your bartender, your car valet, whatever. Drop a little something in there. It'd be greatly appreciated. If you can't do it, that's fine. You're welcome to stay anyway. You know, I'm just happy that people are here. And so welcome it. So there you go. All right. Right there at the bottom of the page there, you can see how you can help the show continue streaming. Appreciate you. Starting out, we're going to talk about the Greenville Park Mall shooting. Okay. So you saw this yesterday. This happened. I was out running around. And my alert, I have this alert on my phone that tells me whenever there's a significant police action in any particular place. And it goes off about 5 o'clock last night. I'm like, oh, what's this about? Why is 15,000 people listening to the Indianapolis police channel. And it's because, another, and then I check Twitter really quick because I like to see if there's anything corresponding with why my police scanner is telling me that there's a big event happening. So then I immediately jump over to trending topics and see if it's there already. And of course, I saw Greenwood. Is it Greenwood? Greenwood or Greenville? Greenwood. It's Greenwood, right? Greenwood Park Mall trending. And I went, oh boy, here we go. All right, so obviously that's what's happening. At least 3 people were killed and 2 others were injured in a shooting at an Indianapolis area shopping mall on Sunday evening. Multiple people called 911 at around 6:05 p.m. That's 5:05 our time yesterday. 6:05 p.m. local time to report an active shooter at the Greenwood Park Mall in Greenwood, Indiana. Some 14 miles south of Indianapolis. An unidentified gunman had walked into the mall's food court and opened fire. Olivia Harding said she was at the Old Navy in the mall with her mom when she heard 4 gunshots and initially thought the nearby carousel was breaking down. But then they heard 6 more and knew that it was something else. I told my mom instantly to get down, Harding recalled in an interview with ABC News on Sunday night. A person who was lawfully armed, identified as a 22-year-old hero from Bartholomew County, shot and killed the gunman, ending the standoff before it ever got started. All right, so here's what this is looking like. So a dude walks into a mall, right? And according to police, he used a long gun. That's the term they use. They don't like to use brand. So he used a rifle, walked into a mall with a rifle, set up shop in the food court, started shooting people. Okay, here we go. Let's get this started. Boom, boom, boom. Start shooting people. A dude with a gun. Trust me, I'm from Chicago. There are very few gun laws in Indiana. Indiana people. What does that have to do with you being from Chicago? Well, because we have really strict gun laws in Chicago, and all the gangbangers go to gun shows in Gary, Indiana. And then, but anyway, it's a conversation for other people, I'm thinking, smarter people. So they have, you can carry guns in Indianapolis, and a 22-year-old dude saw this go down, saw the guy killing people, killed 3 people, and he stepped up. He stepped up. The mythical good guy with a gun that we keep hearing about actually showed up. He showed up at the mall yesterday, and there you go. I mean, this comes on the same day that the big news dump in the Uvalde investigation happened, where we learned that almost 400 police officers, 400 well-trained, tactically specific good guys with guns did absolutely nothing. This one 22-year-old kid saw this dude with a gun in the food court and put him down. I don't care. I do not care what side of the argument you are on here. That's a good thing. That is undeniably a good thing. Now, 3 innocents had to die before that good guy with a gun was able to end it. But, I guess there is something to be said. Well, how many more could have died? Well, a lot more could have. But the fact is that 3 did. And the same law that allowed that good guy with a gun to be there and take that guy down is the same law that allowed that dude to probably buy that gun and walk. So what are we talking about here? Yes, hero stuff. That is a hero. I want to see this 22-year-old kid on the news. I want to see him made into a superstar because he did something that needed to be done when the situation arose. Now, you can have all of your different issues about gun laws, and we're not going to go into that here. I think I've made myself pretty clear. But you can't deny this. You can't. People, but he should. Look. I guess this makes sense if you're of my mind, which is there ain't nothing that's ever going to be done to stop shootings of this magnitude. This is going to be done. We don't care. We don't care about these shootings unless it's someone we love who's just been, or God forbid ourselves, who've been shot. We don't. That's just human. That's just how we are. It's something we watch on TV and we clutch our pearls and we get all, oh, so glad that didn't happen to me. And then we move on. What's on TV? And then we move on to something else. Now, if in the hours following the shooting, we found ourselves in an emergency room or at some sort of reunification center, we might have affected us differently because it wasn't something that we could just flip the channel away from. But most people don't care. They don't care. They want their guns. They're going to have their guns. And let's just give everybody guns, I guess. Everybody guns. Because sometimes, instead of having 10 people dead or, God forbid, a mass, shooting situation where we're talking over 20 people, instead of that, we have 3. I'm not okay with the 3. Okay? I'm not okay with the 3. The 3 should never have happened. Am I glad that there was somebody there who could take this monster down? A hero? Yes, absolutely I am. But this is just not the cut and dry, one size fits all argument that we typically have with these situations, because this complicates things. This complicates things for the people on the left who don't want, oh, tell me again about the good guy with the gun. Okay, now granted, we don't have many examples of this, but we do have an example yesterday, and it cannot be denied. By the way, I see that the number here in this has gone up to, because that's including the gunman himself. They're including 4 because of the gunman himself. I have not seen any. There's no motive. We don't know why. We have no description yet, as of this morning, of who the gunman was, unless that's been revealed. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know anything. We don't know. We don't even know that it's a guy. We assume it's a guy because women don't do this stuff. A white guy. Then we black guy. What is this? Was this? This was also a difficult one because as I was walking through the Kroger with my headphones on, listening to the police scanner, I'm that level of nerd. I was trying to determine, how I like to compartmentalize these things. Like mall shootings are more difficult than some of the other ones because there's a lot of ne'er-do-wells that hang out at malls, teenagers, gangbangers, that kind of thing. So anytime there's a mall incident, I'm always like, okay. And then I heard it was in the food court and I'm like, oh, somebody was talking to somebody's girlfriend and that dude was in a gang and he pulled a gun and the gun went off and now everybody's running and we got this situation. There's that, or then there's just crazy guy with guns who wants to kill everybody. Indiscriminate murder from a madman versus just everyday crime by dirtbag criminals who are out there. I couldn't tell. I could not tell what this was. I'm still not entirely certain because there have been so few details put out there about the shooter himself or about the, but he brought a rifle to a mall food court, right? A rifle, you bring a rifle to a That's not, you don't just go shopping with a rifle, do you? I don't think so. Although I have seen the pictures of, what do they call it? They always tag it with Meal Team 6, where you see the big fat guys in the Starbucks with the all militaried up because, I don't know, they're afraid someone's going to panhandle them for loose change. I don't know. But we don't know. We don't know anything about that. The suspect, who appears to have used a long gun rifle with several magazines of ammunition, see, that tells me that he was just looking, has not been identified, nor has a motive been determined. All right, so we'll figure that out. Can't wait to see what the motive is. I'm guessing crazy person. That's just what I think. Uvalde is trending. As I said, these were sort of happening at the same time yesterday, or actually the Uvalde stuff all wrapped up. There was a live, at least on CNN, there was a live press avail, I guess. I wouldn't call it a press conference, really, with all of the Uvalde people talking about, the investigation. Look, the people in Uvalde, the authorities in Uvalde are, they're panicking. Because, there's a lot of people looking at this situation. And just late last week, we had the release of the raw footage from the 400 law enforcement that were on scene. We've watched it. I've seen it now a couple of times, not all the way through. You fast forward and you don't need to see it. Well, we saw those police in Uvalde do nothing. We saw them do nothing. You know what? I didn't see them do nothing. I saw them run. Whoop, 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 whoop. As soon as the gunshots started ringing out from inside the classroom, they didn't run into the classroom looking for the shooter. They heard pop, 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 pop going on inside the room, and they whoop, 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 whoop. The video shows them just like running from the door. Okay. Well, they're afraid for their lives too. Yeah, but they're not janitors, you see. They're police officers. They're the ones who are supposed to put their lives in danger to protect the innocents in the community. That's their job. They had one job, as the cliche goes. And they didn't do it well. And last night we got to see the mayor, Don McLaughlin. I think that's his name. Mayor Don down there in Uvalde. Just lose his shit at the press conference. He's blaming everybody. See, the story with Don McLaughlin is that he's tight with Abbott. And when Abbott wins re-election, as they believe, this Don guy, there was like talk that he was supposed to be railroad commissioner or something like that. It's okay. So he's going to be appointed Texas State Railroad Commissioner by Abbott. So he's been carrying Abbott's water from the beginning here because he recognizes that the incident that happened in his little town could negatively affect Abbott as he runs for re-election in the state. So he's been carrying his water. He's protecting the whole mythical railroad commissioner job or something like that. So he's been a piece of shit the entire time. This guy, this mayor down there. In fact, it was very early, the first couple of days, the first reports that streamed out was that the police officers were gathered outside and would not go in on orders directly from the mayor. That apparently the mayor had said there is a federal tactical team heading your way from the border. Don't do anything. And then once that was put out there, there was all kinds of pushback. No, it wasn't the mayor. The mayor wasn't even there. The mayor was in a Pilates class or, whatever. This was all falls on Arredondo, who is the chief of police down there in Uvalde. And Arredondo's like, hey, man, I did not do a good job. I mean, he's basically he's this Arredondo guy who sucks. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're a career law enforcement officer and you're now the chief, you're in charge of an entire department, and they are slaying the children of your community inside a classroom, and you don't just do what comes instinctively to you as a career law enforcement. Instead, you stand down, you leave your radio in the car. This is just such a massive cluster F. What occurred in Uvalde on that day? I mean, we tracked it live here. This situation occurred. If you were listening to the show at the time, I got the alerts on my phone. So we immediately stopped doing trends and we jumped right into what this story was. We followed it for about 10 minutes. There was no police traffic. And now we understand why there was no police traffic. There was no police traffic because they apparently had an order to go silent, that they weren't going to have. So there was no communications. The groups of officers who were stationed around Robb Elementary School weren't discussing what they were going to do over police radios. They were using runners, people that would be on the west side of the building. Okay, I need you to run over to the east side and I need you to tell. I mean, it's just complete. And when we were covering it on the show, I remember thinking, man, this is weird. There is no police chatter. There are 12,000 people at the time in the beginning. There are 12,000 people listening to this channel, and because there's obviously something going on, and there are no conversations being had. There's no discussion about. I mean, I thought that was very rare. And in the moment, I was like, okay, well, I guess that means that this isn't anything. So we stopped with the Uvalde coverage and we just went back and did a regular show. We just jumped right back into the trends. And then the show ended and I go in the other room and I'm having a little bit of lunch and I got the laptop open. And then suddenly I get an alert out of San Antonio that 14 kids are dead. And I'm like, wait, what? This 14? So this was, in my experience of, and it's my experience now with this stuff is going back about 5 years since I've been pretty much on all of these big breaking stories. This was the strangest unfolding of events that I had ever seen. Never. So, and that's why we moved on. We thought it was nothing. There's going to be a lot more coming out about this. If you haven't seen the video, look, if you haven't seen the video yet, you don't need to see it. You're not all that interested in it, because if that's not a shot at anyone who hasn't seen it. What I'm saying is not all of us need that level of darkness in our life. If you haven't seen it, don't see it. If you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's just really depressing. It's just really depressing to hear those shots coming from the school and to see the police officers closest to rescuing whatever kids were in that room run away from the shots. And then all of the other police officers in the camps, you're hearing the shots, and they're flinching. They're down the hall. They're like, oh. So, do we believe that all 400 of these police officers are cowards? I don't. I sure as shit don't believe that 400 of these well-trained law enforcement officials were cowards. Somebody told them to stand down. They had to have been following orders. So I think we're going to hear more about that. Ivana Trump is trending. We now know how Ivana Trump died last week. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad how she died. Ivana Trump, she fell down some steps in her beautiful, I would almost said Park Avenue. She doesn't live on Park Avenue. She lives on Central Park East, I want to say. After Ivana Trump died, the New York City street where she lived was blocked off as her body was removed from her townhouse. Donald Trump's first wife and mother to 3 of the former president's kids. So she's the mom of Junior, Eric, and Ivanka. Ivanka. Oh, Ivana and Ivanka. From the 80s, you sometimes get them confused because you remember when Ivana was the big one. Now Ivanka is the big one. Donald Trump's first wife and mother to 3 of his former kids was found dead at the bottom of a staircase in her 7-story Upper East Side home. I don't know. I looked at it on a map. It looks like Lower East Side to me, but whatever. Oh, and this is the sun. They don't know. This is the sun out of it. Oh my God, I'm looking at these pictures of her. Oh, okay. So here, let's do this. Show you the staircase. It's like a Marie Antoinette kind of a deal here. Yeah. Show you the pictures inside her house. All right. Okay, so here, let's look through these, shall we? All right, there she is. Look at her. There's the outside of the house. I don't know who that is. Look at that. It's a nice townhouse. That's it right there. It's the white one. Actually, I think that might be. Does she own both of them? This one and this one? Like, is that? I don't know. Whatever. Probably. Look at that tacky ass art. It's just so tacky. Okay, so there's the staircase, right? That's the staircase that she fell down. She's probably wearing flowing robes. I don't know. That's tacky. Just look at that house. That house is tacky. Every time I see like a depiction of one of the Trump's homes, actually, wait, that's not true. Ivanka seems to have a very tasteful home. I saw pictures of Ivanka's home like a year ago, or Washington Place where she was living with Jared Kushner, and I remember thinking, well, look at that. She's got taste. Ivanka is the one with taste. Ivanka is the one that doesn't need a gold toilet, right? Ivanka is the one with like normal like furniture and art, whereas her dad and her mom and all of her stepmoms, they all seem to reside in places that look like the Palace of Versailles, but was taken over by like a Middle Eastern pop star. It's just like decorated, or dictator. I suppose it could be pop star or dictator. I don't know. All right, so there you have it. She fell down the stairs and now she's dead. That's terrible. That's too bad. I almost said she seemed like a nice lady, but she didn't. She didn't seem like a nice lady. She seemed like a lady. She seemed like a rich lady who had a whole lot. It didn't seem particularly nice to me. I don't know. Bennifer is trending. That's right. Bennifer is back. Bennifer, the what do they call that? Celebrity. What is it called? What's that called? Portamo? Is it a Portamo? Portamo, where you mash up 2 names to make one. Bennifer was like the first, and now it's regular. Now it's like every celebrity couple, everybody, you got to take their first names and you mash them together. But Bennifer was the first. Remember Bennifer? Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez created Bennifer. Well, they got married. They got married 22 years after their breakup. They have come back together. 22 years. Man. It seems to me like Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck were just out there making. They made a couple movies together, right? They made Geely and then Jersey Girl, and then Geely was so bad. Jennifer Lopez. Now I don't know if this is programming because I've never seen Geely, but having never seen Geely, I would say, oh, Geely's like the worst movie ever. And I think that's programming. I think that's just because that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard, everybody, and it's in my head. And so now my quick response to the movie Geely is, oh, that's terrible. When in fact, I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's any good. I saw Jersey Girl. That sucked. Jersey Girl kind of sucked. Didn't like that one. The little kid is, screw that. But Geely was, they were superstars. He was still like late 90s, early 2000s Ben Affleck, where he was like, oh, could this be like the next great leading man in Hollywood? He's coming off an Oscar win for Good Will Hunting and all that stuff. And she was massive. She was the #1 pop star in the world. She was an A-list movie star. She like had a book out. She probably had a TV show. I don't know. She was massive. So when they came together, they were like Brangelina, who came later. Remember Brad and Angelina? Brangelina, whatever you want to call it. So they got together, and it just seemed like they were ripe for criticism. It seemed like everybody was just like, oh, two beautiful people with the world at their heels. They got everything they could ever want, and now they're in love together. Fuck them! We hate them now. So Geely came out. Geely was destroyed by critics. It was the worst movie ever. And again, I don't know. I know a lot of critics. Oh, I know a lot of critics. I know a number of film critics. They're all gross nerds. They're all gross nerds. So when film critics decide that they want to take down the popular kids, oh, they can be so mean. They can be, film critics are just, first of all, film critics are jealous. They're drunk with power because here they are, the nerds who like for a brief moment get to sit at the cool kids' lunch table. I don't know, helping them with their math or something. That's kind of what it's like. The cool kids need the critic nerds to write good things about it, so they're nice to them. And then the critic nerds, they return favor by being awful, by just being awful, broken, damaged people. The critics were so terrible about the movie Geely that there is a casualty here in Geely that is not named Ben Affleck or Jennifer Lopez, and that's director Martin Brest. Martin Brest directed Geely. Martin Brest has not directed anything. He retired after Geely. He was like, yeah, I don't need this shit. Now, who's Martin Brest? Martin Brest was like a successful. You take the other movies that Martin Brest made before Geely and you go, well, how can Geely be that terrible? All of those other movies that he made are really good movies. How is it that here are some of the movies that Martin Brest directed before Geely? Beverly Hills Cop, the original. Midnight Run with Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin. That movie is beloved. Everybody loves Midnight Run. That movie's incredible. He also did Scent of a Woman. Hooah, right? Scent of a Woman. How great was that movie? Al Pacino, Scent of a Woman. Meet Joe Black. Meet Joe Black. You want to talk about an unsung hero movie. Meet Joe Black is tremendous. Brad Pitt, Anthony Hopkins, some completely disposable female lead actress. That's what happens with you get two big male stars and then you get a model turned actress to play the girlfriend, and she's big for 6 months because of the movie, and then you never see her again. Then she's never seen. Then they go out and they get another model turned actress to play the next girlfriend in the next movie. But yeah, he retired. Martin Brest, Beverly Hills Cop, Scent of a Woman, Midnight Run. What was the other one? Meet Joe Black. This guy, after the film Geely, he just went, you know what? I'm done. I don't need this shit. I'm Martin Brest. I did Beverly Hills Cop 20 years ago. I don't need this nonsense. So anyway, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. They're married. They're in love. 20-year interruption in their relationship. Here's to you, kids. Enjoy. Kids, they're my age, but you know what I'm saying. All right, let's go back. Let's go back 20 years again. We'll go back another 20 years for this story because this is a weird one. Ricky Martin is trending. Remember Ricky Martin? Living la vida loca. Remember, it's Ricky Martin, one hit wonder. Was he a one hit wonder? That's the only one I know. Look, you're a one. If I only know one song, because no, he has had tons of Latin language. Oh, shut up. That's, you know what I'm talking about. What Ricky Martin songs have been played on Kiss FM? There you go. If you've only got one, then you're a one hit wonder. But this is weird, man. This is a weird one. Ricky Martin is fighting a legal battle that is just creepy. Ricky Martin is accused of incest by his nephew, who claimed they had a relationship for 7 months and that Ricky Martin attacked him physically and psychologically. Singer could be looking at up to 50 years in prison. Ricky Martin has been accused of incest by his 21-year-old nephew and could face up to 50 years in prison if convicted. The singer was hit with a restraining order stemming from a domestic violence incident in Puerto Rico earlier this month. However, the victim's identity had been withheld. His brother, Eric Martin, has since identified the alleged victim as the singer's nephew, Dennis Yadiel Sanchez. All right. So Ricky Martin gets into a fight publicly with some dude a couple of months ago. And now it turns out that the dude he got into the fight with publicly is his young nephew. Ricky Martin is accused of exercising physical and psychological attacks on Sanchez during their 7-month relationship, which ended about 2 months ago. Sounds like around the time when the public fight broke out. A representative for the married father of 4, Martin, previously called the abuse allegations completely false and fabricated in a statement provided to People earlier this month. And last night, Ricky Martin's legal rep issued an even more scathing denial to the DailyMail.com, saying, Martin's legal team told DailyMail.com the accuser is struggling with deep mental health challenges and outright dismissed the disgusting allegations. Ricky Martin has, of course, never been and would never be involved in any kind of a sexual or romantic relationship with his nephew, lawyer Martin Singer said Friday. Martin Singer. He's got Martin Singer. Do you guys know who Martin Singer is? Martin Singer is the most powerful attorney in Hollywood. He is the big dog of big dogs when it comes to movie stars. So he's got a very big legal representation here. The idea is not only untrue, Singer says, it's disgusting. We all hope that this man gets the help he so urgently needs, but most of all, we look forward to this awful case being dismissed as soon as a judge gets to look at the facts. So, I don't know to say. All I know is what I just read to you. That's not a good look for Ricky Martin, though. True or not, you don't even want, it's like, can you come back from that stuff? Like, if you're somebody who's just sort of barely listening and all you heard from the last 5 minutes was that Ricky Martin was in an incestuous relationship with his nephew, you're just doing things and you hear that in the background, you're just going to carry that around with you. Yeah, 20 years from now, the name Ricky Martin will come up in some casual conversation that you're having. And you'll go, yeah, do you remember when he was having sex with his nephew? True or not, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. You just heard that. So what I'm saying is, sometimes just being accused is just as bad as, well, probably not as bad as having actually done the crime. But you know what I'm saying? All right, Ricky Martin. We'll follow this one, I'm sure. Certainly the press will. Killer dog is trending. This, I don't like this. This is, oh my God. So this story comes out of England, and apparently it's a big story over there. I don't know if you've been. I watch a lot of British news. I don't like to get my international news from American news sources because Well, Fox News sucks, CNN sucks, MSNBC sucks, so I have no interest in watching any of that garbage. So in the mornings or late at night, I tend to watch Sky News. They give me like if I want to know stuff about what's going on in Ukraine and stuff, I watch it on European stuff. I don't need American the filter of American politics getting involved in what I'm hearing about something that's happening in another part of the world. So for that reason, I choose to watch Sky News. But the big story the last couple of days in England has been the heat, the weather. I mean, it's hot here. It's really, what is it right now? What is it? As we do the show here from Texas, let's see here. It is, it's a very, come on. Okay, so it's currently 103 degrees here. 103 degrees. In England, it's been like 100. They think it could get up to 106 degrees today in England. 106 degrees. The record, the hottest day, and I'm giving you Fahrenheit. They do Celsius over there, but I'm giving you Fahrenheit. The hottest day recorded in England was 101 degrees. It got to be 101 degrees back in 2019, a couple of years ago. They're saying it could go as high as 106 today in England. So that's the big story there. But the other big story is this killer dog story. Apparently, this dog, who was a loving family member, this dog went nuts from the heat. The heat that this dog, apparently the dog's owners, a man and a woman, they went out for a full day, right? They left the dog at home. I don't know, maybe they don't have air conditioning. There's people in Texas can't believe that. What do you mean no air conditioning? Look, folks, there are places in this world where the hottest it's ever going to get is like, low 90s. So you don't really, and that happens like maybe once a year for like 2 or 3 days. So you don't really need to have air conditioning the way you need it here in Texas. You need air conditioning in Texas. It's too hot. But other places in the world don't have air conditioning. So this particular house did not have air conditioning. And parents, the homeowners, the man and the woman, they went out for a full day. And when they came home, they were mauled to death by their dog. Pictures have been released of a woman mauled to death by her own dog in a brutal attack which almost killed her partner. The victim, 43-year-old mom of 2, Joanne Robinson, was attacked in her home by one of the family's 2 American Bully XL dogs. She is understood to have been pinned down by the jaws of the pet named Rocco after coming home from a night out. Her partner, Jamie Steed, 42, suffered devastating injuries to his face, hands, and chest as he tried to pull the animal away from her and is still recovering in hospital. He has reportedly undergone skin grafting for the potentially life-changing injuries. Apparently got his face ripped off. That was a different story that we got here. Joanne was earlier described as a beautiful angel by her friends in tributes left near her home. Pictures of the tragic animal owner have now been released following the fatal attack as police in Rotherham took the dogs away. God, what a great-looking dog, too. Here, I'll show you the dog. Loving dog, family dog. Hold on. Sorry, folks. No history of this, right? They, dog was playful. Dog was left in 100-degree heat for like 12 hours. And when the parents came home, he was not happy. Look, there he is. Look, there's the mom who was mauled to death. And look, there's the little guy there on the right. Heat drove him nuts. That's what they're saying. Dottie Robinson. Joanne's heartbroken mom, Dottie Robinson, speaking outside the family home, said, "I am in total disbelief and shock. I just hope it was quick and that she didn't suffer too much." Dottie urged dog owners to be extra vigilant of their pets during the UK's blistering heat wave. She pleaded, "Try to keep your dogs cool, keep them inside, and give them plenty of water. The heat affects them worse than it affects us." A warning sign on the front wall of her daughter's house states, "Beware of dog." Let's see here. So it was 2 dogs there were two dogs. There was Rocco, who did the murdering, and then there was Lola, who was another one. Speaking about the family's horrendous ordeal, okay, so the grandma says they were good dogs. They are not a banned breed, and they were never dangerous. They were not related, but they did get on well together. I do not know why they suddenly snapped. I can only think that they turned mad from the extreme heat. It must have set them off. Rocco is a big dog. He's bigger than a lion. Well, I'm looking at Rocco right there. Is that Rocco as a puppy? Because he doesn't look bigger than a lion. Dottie, the grandma, who lives nearby, said that they've had the dogs since they were puppies and they have never been trouble. She re-emphasized it must have been the heat. There's a saying about mad dogs going out in the midday sun. Okay, where is this? She was downstairs. Okay, so they had come home. Here's how it went down. They had come home from a night out, and the woman was downstairs, and suddenly Rocco, that's the big one that we're looking at right there, Rocco attacked her. It got her. I think it was around her throat. Lola, the female dog, Lola was going mad. She was trying to be protective and steady. Joanne's partner then grabbed Lola, who attacked him. Okay, so the husband or the partner, they're calling him, I guess they weren't married. The one dog is attacking the woman, Rocco. The other dog, Lola, comes running down to see what's going on and starts to get involved. So the husband or the partner, he grabs the second dog to drag her out of the room. I guess the thought was, if I got to fight this one dog, I probably should fight one instead of two. What an absolutely horrible. Lola was going mad. She was trying to be protective and steady. He was trying to get Lola out of the room. He had no choice but to get her out during that time that Rocco was attacking. Neighbors had told how they had heard piercing screams coming from the top of the road. Okay, so there you go. That's a killer dog. Heat. I'm telling you, you know where my dog is, or our dog, the house dog, the compound dog is? Compound dog is right now, as I stare at her, she is laying underneath the air conditioning vent. She's just laying there. Air conditioning just blowing. And she's not a big hairy dog. She's got like fine swamp hair. You know, she's like it almost feels like skin. Her hair is so fine. But even her, man, she doesn't want to go outside in this nonsense. She doesn't want to hang out. She'll go out there, she'll bark at a couple squirrels, and then 30 seconds later, she's like, hey, I want to come in again. And I let her in, and then she goes and she lays by the air conditioning. This is crazy, this weather. Dogs, give them water. You got to take care of them. All right. Also trending today, we've got Fox Sports. This is trending. I retweeted this last night. I saw this. Check out this nonsense. Look at this. Fox. How does this happen? I don't understand how this happens. So last night, before the New York Yankees Boston Red Sox game, Fox, Major League Baseball on Fox, they had a graphic that they put up. This is what I mean when I say people have no freaking sense, man. People just do not have sense. Look at this. This is the graphic that Fox, MLB on Fox, went with to hype up the Red Sox New York Yankees game. Look at that. Do you see it? That's the graphic. Now, it might be a little bit difficult for you to see because it's a picture that was basically snapped off a big screen TV. Fox Sports, Major League Baseball on Fox, took an image of the World Trade Center, an aerial image of the World Trade Center, and they put a Boston Red Sox logo where Tower 1 would be, and they put a New York Yankees logo where Tower 2 was. And they just put it on TV. They were like, hey, this is going to be a crazy fight. Hey, remember the last time something really bad happened in New York, between New York and Boston? Because, the plane took off in Boston. How does this get on the air? How you stay away from all things race. You stay away from all things 9/11. You stay away from. What are they thinking here? Who did this? Here, I don't understand. I have worked in production units before. I know that there is a system that goes on. You have one group of people who are in an editing bay and they're creating graphics and content to go out on the show. And then you've got somebody who's a middle manager who, after some 20-year-old intern comes up with an idea, that then middle manager looks at it and goes, yeah, that's okay. We're going to pass this along to the production team. And then the production team takes that graphic and goes, oh, that's a good graphic. Let's put that up. How did everybody see this absurd 9/11 name check? Why are you name checking? Why are you trying to hype a game between the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox by somehow, I don't know, using the emotion, the whatever of 9? It's just such ridiculous. It's people. What are they thinking? Come on, man. It's just, people don't have sense. You just don't have sense. How many people looked at that and went, oh, that's cool, because 9/11's cool. Yeah, remember that? Is this a thing with younger people? Is that what it is? Is this a thing like most of us, we lived it. We were alive. We were grown-ups on that day. We remember how horrifying, waiting for the next shoe to drop. That entire day was like, okay, what's going to happen? Is a nuke going to go off, in Cleveland? Like, what is going to happen next? So I guess if you were born in 2001, like, you really weren't aware of what was happening there. Maybe now you're a 22-year-old intern and it just doesn't resonate with you. It's just like something that happened, like the Civil War, like making Civil War jokes. I don't understand how that graphic makes its way through all of what I assume are important checks and gets on the air. It was on the air. Madness. All right, so that's why MLB on Fox is trending today. People are outraged by that. All right, so here's another one. It seems like every day we have to do one of these issues because these things are constantly trending. Trans at school. So the subject of being trans in school is trending because apparently public schools, maybe not all, but at least public schools, for the sake of this column or story, when a child decides that they want to transition, oftentimes they don't tell their parents. Oftentimes parents aren't who they can talk to about, for whatever reason. There's a lot of shit parents out there. There's a lot of parents who All right. Are we back? I'm thinking we're back. I'm hoping we're back. I want to make sure. How's it sound? You guys, how's it sound? We just had another incident here with the Zoom box. Let me know. How's it sound? Is the actual microphone working, or am I going off the laptop mic? Here we go. Now we'll wait. We'll wait for somebody in the chat room to hear this. All right, thank you, Al. Continuing on. So apparently, when kids can't talk to their parents, what we're seeing now is that kids are going and they're basically coming out. Is that the proper word to use? They're to their school counselors or maybe a teacher who they have a relationship with or something, instead of their parents. And those public schools have a policy of not informing the parents. If your 8th grade daughter comes out to her guidance counselor and says that she wants to transition into a boy, the schools do not have to notify the parents. And people are freaking out about this. People are, how can this be? Surprising many families nationally, public schools don't inform when students socially transition. They see confidentiality as a priority, operating under gender identity guidelines that put student privacy and safety above family consent or knowledge. Schools leaders say there are good reasons for the approach, mainly to avoid outing kids who could be in harm's way at home or aren't ready to tell their parents. They worry about family rejection and students' mental health. Transgender students are at a greater risk of suicide and substance use. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, they are twice as likely to experience depressive symptoms. They, along with other LGBTQ youth, constitute a larger share of the foster care population and are at a much higher risk for juvenile homelessness. Okay, so here's the problem. Kid going through some stuff. Kid just wants to talk about it. Kid just has things it needs to know. Kid is questioning all of this stuff that's happening. Kid can't go to dad because dad's an asshole. Kid can't go to mom because all they do is fight. Kid has a teacher. Kid has a student, a counselor, something like that he's comfortable with. Kid can have these conversations with this person. First of all, wouldn't you know, I mean, what kind of a parent doesn't pick up on a kid who is going to tell a guidance counselor they want to transition is probably not just on a whim. He's probably just not going, you know what? I feel like I need a little attention, so I'm going to do something that everybody's going to be concerned about me for, and I'm going to make this big statement, and I'm going to do this, and I want all the attention. That ain't the case. Most of these kids, they're horrified to tell their parents. But if you don't know, if you are raising a child and you can't pick up, I'll give you an example. I have a friend who's got a 30-year-old son who's gay. He's gay. He's out. He's blah, 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 blah. Years ago, we were talking about it, and I remember he said to me, he goes, I knew he was gay by the time he was 8 years old. I mean, and by the way, it's not like I hate my gay son. No, he loves his gay son. He's a totally cool dad. And he's like, you know what? Because I love my kid and because I'm in a relationship with my kid, I knew very early on, I started to pick up on some of these things that maybe my son wasn't going to be, the captain of the football team and, the lady slayer and, all that kind of stuff. I realized that there were some different qualities that my son had that may lead me to, at this moment in my life, not having grandkids. And it's his only son. But how do you not know? How are you a parent? How are you blindsided? What do you want? Do you want the counselors to call you and say, hey, your kid just told me that they're having some problems with gender identity, and we thought you should know. But then you send that kid home, they get screamed at by some crazy, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this. All I know is this. If my kid, this would not be a concern for me, because if my kid had decided that they were going to transition, I would have noticed something. This is not going to be a huge shock. I just think it's a ridiculous thing and people are getting mad. Parents who are not involved in their children's lives, these are like the parents who, school shooter. Well, I didn't know that he was a crazy kid. And then it turns out he's building bombs in his bedroom at night. Well, maybe you should poke your head into the bedroom at night and go, what you working on, champ? How about something like that? Easier said than, look, it's not. There are a lot of bad parents out there. And I think that this thing, the schools are doing, the public schools, and not telling the parents secret stuff that the kids tell them, I don't know. I think it's kind of the right thing. Because I think if you're a parent who doesn't have the slightest clue that your kid might be transitioning, you're probably a shit parent. You're probably a shit parent who isn't going to handle it well. Americans are trending. Hey, that's us. Why are Americans trending? Oh, boy, because we're way more out of shape than we thought we were. I tried to do this. Out of shape nation. Half of Americans admit they can't touch their toes without straining. Now, without straining, when I read this morning, I immediately popped out of my chair and I said, can I touch my toes? And I stood up. And I went down to touch my toes, and I got halfway down, and I went, nope, I can't touch my toes. So then I went, wait a second, this is ridiculous. This is, I got, maybe if I just stretch out a little bit, my bones, they're older here, my body, my joints, come on, I just can't cold try and touch my toes for the first time in 30 years. Yeah, I got to work up to this. So after a couple of attempts, I did manage to touch my toes. Now, the back of my hamstrings, whatever that is, they still hurt. I did one toe touch, and I swear to God, I think I need a walker now because I did something to the muscle in the back of my legs. Out of Shape Nation, half of Americans admit that they can't touch their toes without straining. Well, who can touch their toes without straining? This is what I don't get. Even like the most, well, I guess there are probably some yoga people out there, but I mean, that's part of it. So, new survey reveals that the average adult, this is another one that bothered me. New survey reveals that the average adult logs just 3,800 steps per day. That's far less than 10,000 steps, which is recommended. Now, I've got my little pedometer thing on my phone. Let me see, where am I at today? I count my steps. And let's see, where are we on today's pedometer? Hold on. It's loading. I'll tell you how many steps I've taken. All right, so I've already taken 2,082 steps today. So I'm already up to 2,082. They say that they want every American to do 10,000 steps a day. Like, that's doable. You can do 10,000 steps. That's not a big deal. Anybody can do 10,000 steps. I have actively been trying to do 10,000 steps I haven't been doing my running because it's been too hot. It's been like 3 weeks. I haven't been out for my jogs or anything. My diet's off, everything. I figured birthday month. I'm like, birthday month, no diet. Let's just have some fun. We'll get back into it serious in August. But I've been trying for years to do 10,000 steps. It's a real effort. First of all, I run 3 miles a day. Okay? 3 miles a day doesn't get me to 10,000 steps. 10,000 steps is about 5 miles. They are saying that the average person should be logging 5 miles worth of steps every day. Nobody does that. Absolutely nobody. I'm sorry. I have tried to hit the 10,000. Here, let me see something here. When was the last time I hit 10,000 steps? Let's see here. How do I do this now? All right. Hold on. Damn, pop up on this free app. June 19th. June 19th, I did 12,500 steps. Okay, that was June 19th. And that was when I was running, and that's when I was doing stuff. So that's how long it's been. Yesterday I went to Kroger. I was running around. Yesterday, how many did I do? Yesterday, I did, let me see here. Yesterday was a very active day for me. I mean, I didn't do any running or anything, but I mean, I was out and running around. All right, so yesterday I did 8,344 steps. All right, 8,344. So that was yesterday. Still didn't get to 10,000, and I was out running around doing all kinds of things. A recent study polled 2,000 U.S. adults to see how they're staying active and as their routines and lifestyles have undergone drastic changes over the past 2 years of the pandemic. Only half of respondents, 51%, can touch their toes without straining. However, people are looking to change their habits, with 70% making more of an effort to move around and be physically active. I'll tell you a couple of things that I do, and it drives my son absolutely nuts. For my steps, whenever we go to a store, I park in the farthest parking spot. Like if I go to Kroger, this is how I churn up steps. I'll walk into a Kroger, and the very first thing that I will do when I walk into Kroger is I will walk the entire inside. I'll walk inside. I will walk the entire perimeter. I'll walk the front window. I'll walk the back, the far left wall. I'll walk the back wall, and then I'll come up on the other wall, and then I'll start my shopping. So I get one full lap. Just a little walking around, and I look at things and I look at people. Don't be in a hurry. This is your fitness, people. Don't be in a hurry. So I'll do that. But more importantly, I park in the shittiest parking spot available. I park back where the cashiers park. You know when you work at a place, you're supposed to park way in the back row. I park way in the back row. Then when I'm coming out with my groceries, with the cart, I will unload. Remember, I'm in the farthest parking spot. I will unload into the cart, close it, and then I will walk. I don't use one of those lazy people cart carousels that they put out there in the parking lot. I walk it all the way back into the store and put it back where the other ones are in the store. That's how I do it. And that's just, you can do these things. My kid, I tell you, my kid hates it. My kid's like, why? There's a spot right in front. Why are you parking here? I'm like, because I'm fat and I want to be alive for your wedding. And these are the things that I have to do if I want to survive another 10, 20 years of this life. 10,000 steps, though. I'm telling you, that is not, 10,000 steps is not easy to do. Joe Rogan is trending. So I'm going to play this. And I don't know why I'm going to play this, but it's because Joe Rogan is a complicated guy. He's a very complicated guy. He's a troublemaker. He's a big time troublemaker. That's really Joe Rogan's whole bag. He's a troublemaker. He's a shit stirrer. He likes to say things that make people upset. And then he likes to watch them and get upset. So if you understand that that's always kind of been his modus operandi, that has kind of been the vibe that Joe Rogan has carried with him everywhere he's ever gone. He's a shit stirrer. He's a troublemaker. He's funny. He's witty. All these things. Smart guy too. But he likes to start trouble. And he has been starting a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Like, for instance, we don't need to go into any of the reasons why Joe Rogan has been polarized. But Joe Rogan now, for the second time in 2 weeks, has taken a moment on his show to dispel all of the ideas that he is MAGA. Because remember that became a whole thing because Joe Rogan wasn't a completely nutso far left Hollywood liberal that, oh, he's like Chris Pratt. He's obviously MAGA. Chris Pratt believes in Jesus. Chris Pratt is a Christian. Chris Pratt goes to one of these like hipster LA Christian group churches where, they let gay people in and all those kinds of things. But because he believes in Jesus, Chris Pratt is a right-wing MAGA guy, which isn't true. He's married to a Kennedy, but whatever. Just come on. Joe Rogan kind of had that same thing where he was embraced by like the lunatics and he said some things as a shit stir that over the years I've been like, oh, this guy, what is he doing? This is not the time to be doing this. But for some reason, over the last couple of weeks, Joe Rogan seems to have made it his mission to get it out there now that the dust has settled that he's not a Trump guy, that he thinks Trump is kind of a clown and a fool and all this kind of stuff. 2 weeks ago, he went on what was it 2 weeks ago that he was talking? Oh, he said he would never have him on his show, that the Trump people keep saying, please put him on the show. And Joe Rogan said, he will never do my show. I will never sit in a room and talk to that guy. I think he's bad for America. Boom. That made huge headlines. Joe Rogan would never have Trump on, says he's bad for America. Okay. So now we got this. Now this is another one that's trending today. Joe Rogan from his show. Where is this? Okay, hold on. Bear with me here, folks. This is. Let's give a listen to this latest thing. He doesn't want to be politically pigeonholed. He sees the divisiveness that is occurring in this country, and he knows that everybody's got to be either right or left. Very few people are like me, in the middle, thinking everybody's an idiot. So are we not going to hear this now? Hold on. Hold on, folks. I got a bit of an issue here. Why is this? Oh, for frog's sake. Really? So do we have to listen to it this way? Okay. Let's try it this way. Huh.
If you had all the power and speed of Frontier Fiber.
What? Now I got to listen to an ad?
The thing that is incredible about that guy
Here it is.
That, I'm saying even when you watch him as president, he was full of fucking energy. Full of it. Every day. And they say he slept for like 4 hours a night. One of those people. He's on Adderall. God. You think he's on Adderall? Yes. I do. Only because there were multiple people who used to work on The Apprentice that were like, he was fucking gassed up for shoots.
Really?
Yeah, because he has trouble reading. He doesn't. He would struggle to read prompter or script when he was just let's say sober. So they would give him that, and he would dial in more on reading. He gets very bored. They said, he would get bored at the CIA briefing in the mornings. He was like, I don't want to read that. There's a daily briefing you get as president. He's like, you fucking read it, and then tell me. And if it's bored, so they would have to make it more engaging for him because he would just tap out.
They would put his name in briefings multiple times to keep him interested.
And then Kushner, his son-in-law, said that he came up with a formula to keep him engaged.
Kushner did?
Yes, because he obviously was close to him and knew him well, and the formula was like 2 good, 1 bad. So if they were going to give him bad news, he'd go, you start with some good news. So they go, this is going well. Everybody's thrilled with you about this. Here's a bad thing. Also, people love you for this. So that's how they would tell him bad news. They couldn't just go, here's a bunch of bad news.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's a man baby.
He's a fucking toddler. Yeah, he's a toddler. That's exactly how I talk to my kids about shit.
All right, so there you go. That is Joe Rogan talking with Tom Segura, the comedian. It's barely. He's trending. Joe Rogan is trending because he's accusing Donald Trump of being on drugs, Adderall. I don't know, is Adderall prescribed to 74-year-old men, or is he illegal? I don't even care. I'm trying to figure out because the last couple of weeks, Rogan has come hard on Trump. He even came out and said that DeSantis is going to beat Trump. That's another thing that he said. He said that Trump is scared shitless of DeSantis. I wonder what this is about. I wonder if Tom or Joe Rogan, I wonder if he's been frozen out. I wonder if he's been frozen out to a degree because of the last year of controversial statements that he's made on his podcast that seem to a lot of people to have placed him firmly in the MAGA group of people, which I can't imagine goes over well with a lot of people that Joe Rogan actually likes. Like Hollywood actors and friends, people he's done shit. I'm wondering if he's trying to do a little bit of a reclamation project here these last couple of weeks and how he's been so completely upfront about not being a fan of Trump, by not supporting him, calling him a man baby, saying that he's a foolish, behaves like an infant. He's on drugs. He could never do his show. He was bad for America. All of these things that he has said that he's been trending for the last couple of weeks. I'm wondering if this has more to do with the fact that Joe Rogan has seen personal blowback in his personal life. Like maybe his wife came home and she was all upset because the ladies at spin class don't talk to her anymore because they're all a bunch of liberal lefty, whatevers. And, we can't get invited to any parties anymore. That kind of thing. I don't know. That could be it. Or it could just be what I initially thought. He's a shit stirrer. He has always been a shit stirrer. He is a troublemaker. That's why he's so fun. That's why he doesn't give a shit. So there you go. That's why Joe Rogan is trending. Euro heat wave is trending. Again, we talked about that a little bit earlier. It is with the dog story. The heat wave in Europe is pretty bad. They're expecting 100 new records for heat in England. 106 is what they think it could be today. Although today's over. Today is over there. Did it get to be 106? I don't even know. The hottest day on record in the United Kingdom was 101 degrees. That was in 2019. Go lay down. Sorry, the dog's here now. Go lay down. You gonna lay down right there? Is that what you're going to do? Look at her now. Now she's just, all right. You lay there. That's fine. So yeah, heat wave. Very hot in Europe. Very hot. Oh, and the other thing, they got forest fires. They got forest fires breaking out all over Europe. There's forest fires in Germany. There's forest fires in the UK. There's forest fires in France. There's forest fires in Spain. It's like, we look at the American Southwest or we look at the American West when we see these big, or Australia, or we look at these crazy brush fires. These crazy brush fires are now occurring in Europe. It's never happened before. Remember, President Trump famously said that the reason that they don't have these kinds of brush fires and wildfires as Germany is because they sweep the forest. he said that. Right? They said what they took Bremen. He literally said he did the sweeping motion. He's like, yeah, they come out and they sweep up all of the timbers and like, what does he think? Does he think it's a hardwood floor underneath the forest? What does he think? But yeah, that was something he said. That we here in America, we do it wrong. Well, the reason they don't have these kinds of things over in Europe is because they sweep the forests. And now here we are. Apparently, they haven't been sweeping the forest because they've got these heat wave produced forest fires going all over Europe. And it's rare. Like I said, the hottest day on record in the history of the United Kingdom was just 3 years ago, 2019, when it was 101 degrees. And now here we are just 3 years later, and they're going to shatter that record. David Crosby is trending. And, oh my God. David Crosby is trending because David Crosby is an asshole. Now, I love Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Big fan. Love the Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Even though James Parker pretends he's never heard of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. It's just such a sad little attempt. I don't know what he's trying to do with that, but it's like, really? You're not stupid. That's a stupid person thing. Really? So just because you don't particularly like I don't particularly like Bobby Darin, but I know that Bobby Darin was a thing and I'm familiar. I don't like Elvis Presley. That was probably a better example. I don't like Elvis Presley, but I know Elvis Presley was a thing. David Crosby is trending because he did a dick move. He just a total dick move. All right, here, we'll show you this. He did something on Twitter, David Crosby. Ass dick. Here, okay. All right, so how do I want to do this? All right, so a fan of David Crosby sent David Crosby this on Twitter. Here, look. Here we go. All right. Can we see it? Let me make sure we can see it better. All right. So a fan of David Crosby's made him a picture, drew a picture. It says, "Hi at the David Crosby. Hope you are keeping well. Did a picture of you. Thanks for the music." Isn't that nice? Isn't that just a nice, look at this guy. There's a picture. The dude this picture took a little bit of time. This guy actually put some thought into this. He sat there in front of a blank canvas, and when he was done, he had created this. This is what he created. Picture of David Crosby. Isn't that nice? Again, let's read the reach out. The reach out is, "Hi, David Crosby. Hope you are keeping well. Did a picture of you. Thanks for the music." All right. And this is how David Crosby responded to that fan, which is why the whole world is like, David Crosby's an asshole. David Crosby responds with, "That is the weirdest painting of me I have ever seen. Don't quit your day job." What a dick! What an unbelievably dickish thing to say. This is you're David freaking Crosby. Some fan, some nerd, some weird, sad little dude who probably sits around and cries to Crosby, Stills, and Nash songs, sat in front of a blank canvas. He made a picture of you, sent it to you, said really nice things. "Hi, David. Hope you're keeping well. Did a picture of you. Thanks for the music." And David Crosby takes a big shit on that. "You suck. That is the weirdest painting of me I've ever seen. Don't quit your day job," is the response from David Crosby. So that's why David Crosby is trending. He's an asshole. What kind of an asshole? Yeah, and that's Melissa says, "I thought that was pretty good." I think it's pretty cool. And even if you don't like, if you have an admirer, if you have a fan, if you have somebody, if you do something in the public sphere and people are seeing what it is that you're doing, and they tell you, "You know what? I hope you are well. I like what you do. Thank you for all of the music. I've done this picture for you." Somebody does that for you. I don't care what you are, a football player. I don't care if you're a musician or a movie star, whatever. Somebody does it. Even if you don't like the picture, you respond with, "Oh my God. That is," look, you don't have to talk about the artistic merits of the picture. And you don't have to be like, "Well, I see that you went a little bit crazy with the colors here, and I don't really like the way you did my nose." You don't do that. You don't do that when somebody is showing you an act of kindness. The creation of this picture by the fan for David Crosby was an act of kindness. It was a sincere gesture by somebody who has been impacted by the creativity of David Crosby. The proper response, if you don't want to say, "I hate this picture," the proper response is, "Wow, man, you did this? You did this picture of me. You just created this picture of me, and you're giving it. Wow, I am touched. Thank you so much. That's the response. That anything short of that, you're an asshole. You're just shitting on somebody because what? You're Mr. Powerful David Crosby. Screw you, you dick. What a dick move. Tristan Thompson is trending for another dick move. Tristan Thompson, NBA player, I don't know, last seen completely sucking against the Milwaukee Bucks for the Chicago Bulls a couple of months ago in the playoffs. Tristan Thompson is, of course, more famous in the world for being the, baby daddy of, who is it? Khloe Kardashian. So Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian are apparently back together again, and they're expecting another baby. Now, if you remember, Tristan Thompson was just spraying babies with like all kinds of party whores left and right over the last couple of years. This caused a problem in the relationship between Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian. But trust me, they love romantic problems because they all get recorded. It's all grist for the Kardashian pop culture mill. Apparently got back together. Apparently after in March, maybe, it was revealed that somebody was pregnant again with another Tristan Thompson love baby. And it was at a time when Tristan and Khloe were back together, and that became a big problem. And now they got back together again just like a month ago. And oh, look at this. She's pregnant again. Why aren't you using protection with Tristan Thompson unless you just want like 50 Tristan Thompson babies? Because this guy obviously does not like condoms. This guy does not like any kind of birth control. So Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian are back together. And she's pregnant. Hey, good. We got another one coming. I mean, look, they can afford it. Kid will be raised a rich kid, grow up to be an asshole, I'm sure. So Khloe Kardashian is pregnant again with Tristan Thompson's baby. And Tristan Thompson is in Greece with some other broad. That's right. Tristan Thompson is having no problem finding companionship on his trip to Greece, a getaway on the heels of news that he and Khloe Kardashian are expecting another baby together. And then there's all these pictures, according to TMZ, of Tristan Thompson walking around in Greece with some chick who is not Khloe. And they're together, holding hands. Tristan Thompson is having no problem finding companionship on his trip to Greece, a getaway on the heels of news he and Khloe are expecting a new baby together. Tristan Thompson, decked out in a floral pattern shirt, was spotted walking hand in hand through the streets of Mykonos with a mystery woman around 5 a.m. Sunday morning. Tristan had previously been partying at a club called Bonbonniere, so it's possible he met her while he was out. And then he left the club with her. Is he even that good looking? What is his deal? Yeah, okay, he's kind of good looking. Yeah, he's kind of good looking. He's a good looking guy. I can get it. I not get it like the way kids. I mean, I get it. I get why women go home with him. I mean, he's also like a 7-foot NBA, 100 millionaire maybe. I don't know. He might not have that much money, but he's got money. He's got. I've played in the NBA for years and years. Money. What else is trending here today? We've got Sesame Place is trending. Sesame Place is trending. All right, we're going to have to show you this. Sesame Place is a amusement type place. I don't know. Are you from Philly? Anybody from Philly? Anybody know anything about Philly? Sesame Place in Philly. Do you know that Sesame Street was based in Philadelphia? I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I just read up on this Sesame Place thing. So I don't know. It's like an amusement park, Sesame Place in Philadelphia. And apparently a video has gone viral from over the weekend of a character by the name of Rosita. Now, I don't know. I don't watch, I haven't watched Sesame Street in years. So I don't know who Rosita is. She might be a new character. To me, I'm looking at her. She just looks like a seafoam green Elmo. Looks like the exact same thing as Elmo, just, some generic looking Muppet figure, just a different color. So the video went viral of Rosita working a line of kids and high-fiving kids and all this kind of stuff. And then Rosita gets to a couple little black girls. God, this world. Gets to a couple little black girls, and it doesn't go well. Here, I'll show you the video. And this is big controversy streaming right now. Okay, hold on. Let me get this straight for you. So you guys tell me what's happening here. All right. Boom. Okay. All right. So here's the video. Here, look at these adorable little. All right. So here, this is Sesame Place, I guess it's called. You get two little girls. Look at, they got their backpacks. They're so excited because here comes Rosita. See, that's Rosita. I don't know who Rosita is. I've never seen Rosita before. Who's that? Elmo back there? I know Elmo. Elmo's a rock star. Look at him back there. He's up there in the VIP lounge and then working the crowd on the dance floor. You got Rosita here. Look at what Rosita does. This video went viral. Right, little black kids. Hi, everybody. High five. Nope. Not you, little black kids. Okay. We're going to need to break this down like this Zapruder film. All right. So, this is an important thing. All right, so you see the, looks like mom there high-fiving Rosita. So she high-fives Rosita. And then apparently what we cannot hear is that the husband of that woman right there shouts, "Hey, Rosita, will you hold our baby for a picture?" Which is apparently something that these mascots get asked to do all the time. Parents want them holding their baby for a picture, and it is policy that the mascots are not allowed to pick up the babies. Mascots are not allowed, for good reason. So what you're seeing Rosita do here when Rosita waves the finger is Rosita is responding to the father who wants Rosita to hold the baby. Now, let's see how this plays out. See, look, nope, can't do that. Did you see that? And now Rosita turns to the little black kids, still waving the finger. Nope, gotta go. All right, so there you have it. Now, of course, that video is trending. That video went viral because it proves something that I'm sure we've all suspected. Sesame Street is a racist bastion of hatred. I guess that's what we're trying to see here. Now they actually did put out their own. Let's see if we can find this. Where's the Sesame Place? Sesame Place put out a statement regarding this. And, a lot of people are like, those people, they're always racist. Those characters don't like black kids. Come on. So how do we even know what the color of the person inside is? Hold on, let me find you the explanation, if you will. All right, you know what? I don't need to find it. So basically, Sesame Place put out a statement concerning the viral, saying, "Look, Rosita's not racist. This is not about Rosita not wanting to hug. Rosita," and they said all kinds of things. Like, first of all, those costumes, it's hard to see, like, especially if you're short, the little ones, which is why when they do embrace kids, they tend to bend over in a very sort of exaggerated way. It's because they're looking through here. They're looking through it. They're not looking through the eyes. So they have to move differently. So when you see Rosita says that she saw the kids, but she saw the kids too late after Rosita. This is the person inside the Rosita costume. The person inside the Rosita costume had just told the father, no pictures. And then the father was saying stuff that not necessarily, it wasn't suggested that the father was like, "Well, fuck you, Rosita." No, it wasn't like that. But it was more like, come on, please, here, the father kept pushing. And at that point, the person inside the Rosita thing said, "I'm just going to move over to the other side. I don't want to get involved in this." And then as Rosita was deciding to move on to the other side, there were these two adorable little black girls. They were like, "Give us a hug, Rosita." And Rosita was still going, no. Rosita, according to the park, Rosita was concerned about the father and holding the baby and just trying to get out of that situation. Not that it was a bad situation, but just that, okay, I said no. He's still yelling that I should hold his baby, so I'm going to move over. So the excuses that came from Sesame Place was, the shaking of the hand, was not to the little kids. It was to the father who was asking Rosita to hold the baby. And Rosita didn't ignore the little kids. Rosita just didn't see the little kids. Rosita was trying to get out of there and looking for somewhere else to go. And sure, if the eyes of the Rosita costume were real, then yeah, it looks like she's looking right at the kids. So how can she say that? But that's not where the eyes of the person inside the costume is. The eyes are in a different place. And he says that he was looking and he was moving and it's hard to walk. Anyway, Sesame Place said, look, this is ridiculous. Here's what we want to do. The family, that family, come on down to the park. We're going to give you a special day. We're going to give you a special tour. You can do pictures. You can have lunch with all the characters, whatever you want. And there you have it. But that's not good enough. That's not good enough because now Sesame Street is racist is beginning to trend, which is just stop it. Stop it. And on that, we're going to stop this. Actually, no. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do a quick check of some of the new things that have been trending, I should say, since we started the show at noon. We do the show every day at noon here. Topics, anything that's trending, anything that's making a headline or a hot topic, people are talking about it. We do it here from noon till whenever we get done. We try and give you a nice little cheat sheet on everything that you need to know about today. We do it every day, Monday through Friday at noon. We do run on your tips, so please, if you can help the show out. We haven't been pushing in, almost 4 weeks now, almost an entire month. We did not make it last month. I'm definitely going to try and push to make it this month because, that's how we do the show. We do the show based on your gratuities. So if you feel so inclined, you want to drop me and a little something in the tip bucket, you can go to Cash App. You can go to the Venmo. You can also do the PayPal. They're all right there at the bottom of your screen. I do appreciate it. Okay, let's see now what has started trending since we signed on today. Tristan Thompson is still trending number 1. Oh, people love it when the Kardashians get cheated on. Madden is trending. It's another one of these things. Madden put out a Madden 23 top 10 wide receivers. They put out their list, the top 10 wide receivers. I don't have a problem with it. I might have a problem with number 2, receiving a Madden grade of 99 overall. The number 1 receiver, according to Madden 23 in the NFL, is Las Vegas Raiders' Davante Adams. That's right. Davante Adams, Las Vegas Raiders, formerly of the Green Bay Packers. Number 2, I might have an issue with. Number 2 with the 98 overall on Madden 23 is Cooper Kupp. Respect to Cooper Kupp. I just don't know that he's the number 2 receiver in the league. And then you got Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson needs to be much higher. A lot of people may not watch the NFC North. I watch the NFC North. Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings is a superstar. He's like the new Randy Moss. He's the new Chris Carter. They've always had great receivers there in Minnesota. Justin Jefferson, a little bit low on this list. He should be a lot higher. He's got a 93 overall. Then we go Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen, and Amari Cooper of the Cleveland Browns with a 90 overall score. There you have it. All right. That's why Madden is trending. What else is trending? Kershaw. What is this? Is this Clayton Kershaw? Clayton Kershaw grew up block over from me right here. We are in Clayton Kershaw's home neighborhood of Highland Park. For the first time in his celebrated career, Dodger future Hall of Famer Clayton Kershaw will start the MLB All-Star Game. He's been named starter. All right, very good. Very good. You know what's weird about this neighborhood that I live in? I've probably mentioned this before to you. Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl champion of the Los Angeles Rams, and Clayton Kershaw, Los Angeles Dodgers, Cy Young award-winning pitcher, they grew up together as like buddies. They grew up together playing. They both grew up in this neighborhood. Clayton Kershaw and Matthew Stafford grew up like a couple of blocks from where I am right now. They went to Highland Park High School. If you go to any events at Highland Park High School, you see, first of all, you see like the names of like people from the 1950s who are like superstars. Like Doak Walker went here, stuff like Bobby Night Train Lane. Like you see all of these things, but then you see like there's this entire new section over there at Highland Park High School. The baseball field is like Clayton Kershaw Field. The football field is Matthew Stafford Field. It's crazy. Nobody that I went to high school with, John Hinckley also went to Highland Park High School. Nobody that I went to high school with ever amounted to anything. Now, granted, my high school was built in like 1980, so it doesn't really have the storied history, but still, since I did again, nobody. This neighborhood that I'm in right now, there was a time 20 years ago when two kids riding their bikes around this neighborhood were actually a 10-year-old Clayton Kershaw and a 10-year-old Matthew. That blows my mind. There is a really cool picture out there of Clayton Kershaw and Matthew Stafford at like 11 years old playing on the same Highland Park baseball team. And it's a picture of the two of them, and they got their arms around each other. They're in their little baseball uniform. That's crazy to me. All right, so Kershaw is trending for that reason. Fauci is trending. Fauci, the U.S.'s top infectious disease expert, says he plans to leave his role before the end of the Biden administration. Okay, so there you go. Sesame Street or Sesame Place is still trending. Philadelphia theme park Sesame Place issues a statement in response to a viral video which appears to show a performer ignoring two black children. All right. What else do we have here? It's Mandela Day. July 18th marks Mandela Day, held each year on Nelson Mandela's birthday, to honor the late Nobel Peace Prize winning revolutionary and what he fought for. Let's see here. I don't know what that is. Scaramucci is trending. I don't know what that's. He's trending. Home Run Derby. Oh, is that tonight? Is tonight the Home Run Derby? That's the only thing I even remotely find interesting about Major League Baseball's All-Star Game is the Home Run Derby. That's it. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game sucks. I don't care. It's so boring. Bunch of guys going half speed. It's not as bad as the Pro Bowl. It's not as bad as the NFL Pro Bowl. But here's my problem. Here's my problem with the All-Star Game in general. But I do enjoy the Home Run Derby. My problem with the All-Star Game is that it rewards play. It fails. Okay. So there are two halves to a baseball season. There's the first half and then there's the second half. And in the middle, the thing that divides the first half and the second half of a Major League Baseball season is the All-Star break. And that's what we're in right now. The All-Star Game happens. Everything that occurred before the All-Star Game, from opening day until the All-Star Game, those players who excel during the first 4 months of the season, they are rewarded with a trip to the All-Star Game. There is nothing that you can do in the second half of the season that will get you any kind of consideration for it. Now there's I think it's called All MLB team that was created to solve this problem. Because if you have like a world class, if you set every record in the second half, if you hit 50 home runs in the second half, which is not going to happen, but you know what I'm saying? You have a monster second half. And then maybe you have a bad April, the start of the next year. You don't go to the All-Star. You get no credit. Nobody gets any credit for the second half. And slow starters, all the All-Star Game is every year are a bunch of guys who aren't slow starters. That's it. Because the best players in baseball tend to take April off. That's just a fact. A lot of the best hitters in baseball, they don't really get warmed up until around May or so. So you get an All-Star Game that is just with a bunch of guys that, had a good first half of the season, and then inevitably they will always drop off. But I don't like the All-Star. They should play the All-Star Game at the end of the year. Well, no, you can't do that because now we got the World Series that's drifting into November. So when are you supposed to play the All-Star Game? You know what you do? You play the All-Star Game in Puerto Rico in December. Fixed it. There you go. After the World Series, if anybody gets injured, they have plenty of time to you know what I'm saying? You can do the All-Star Game better. And you can actually reward the people who had great seasons, not just people who had a good 3 months, not just people who had a good 3-month start to the season. Hey, you're an all-star. You're going to totally drop off in the second half, though. You're going to end the season hitting about 250. But right now you're hitting 303 and you're an all-star. I hate that. I just don't like it. It's always been my problem with the All-Star Game. David Faraday. You like golf? I'm not a big golf fan, but David Faraday is one of the great personalities in golf. He's hysterical. He's crazy. He's wild. He's out there. David Faraday is trending because it's been announced that he is leaving NBC and is expected to join the Live Golf Tour as an analyst. Whoa! This is big. If you are a golf fanatic, and I'm not, but I like David Faraday. Doesn't he live here in Dallas? because I've talked with him. I've interviewed him a couple of times. He's a fun guy. I think David Feherty might have a house here in Dallas. He's Irish or is he English? I don't know. He's whatever he is. But he's a big personality. He's someone that people love. He's someone that people really enjoy. He's funny. He's witty. He's nice. He's just he's an adored dude. And he's jumping to LIV. There's going to be a reason to watch LIV Golf now, because the guy that's going to be calling the matches is really funny and really interesting. This is a good steal. This is a good steal for LIV. Feherty. NBC News is reporting that he is expected to leave. Here, I'll just pull the whole story up here. Let's just see this. This is actually a golf analyst. Golf analyst David Feherty and NBC have parted ways, and he is expected to join the LIV Golf Tour's broadcasts, the Post has learned. Boy, right place at the right time, because he was probably just making, like, he's not making Jim Nantz golf money. You know, Jim Nantz is like the voice of golf, right? He's at least when I think of golf, I always think of Jim Nantz. David Feherty's like, you know, in the middle tier. Like, he'll do the interviews, the sit-down interviews, well, you know, before the match with David Feherty sat down with Tiger Woods, you know, that kind of stuff. So, and Nantz is a young man, so Nantz ain't going anywhere, and the PGA is kind of stuffy, and maybe David Feherty is a little bit too loose and wild. What do you want? What do you want? You look at her. This is what I'm dealing with right now. Okay, go ahead, lick your little coo. Oh, now I got a problem. Oh, there we go. What do you want? Sorry, the dog is bugging me. Come here. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. All the way. Come on. No. Oh, boy. Look, that was a bad idea. Come on. Step up. There you go. You want to do the show with me a little bit? Say hi to everybody. Look at her. Look at her. Is it hot out there? Is it hot, baby? Okay. Go lay down. There's an air conditioner with your name on it. Okay. Go. 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 There's an air. Go. Go. Back. There you go. Okay. Now she thinks I want to fight. Go to bed. Go lay down. CeeLo, go lay down. All right. I apologize. Golf analyst David Feherty and NBC have parted ways, and he's expected to join the LIV Golf Tour's broadcast, the Post has learned. Oh, back to my point. So he's like a mid-level guy. He's somebody who's fun. He's an outlier, but the PGA is so stuffy and so reserved and so conservative that I don't really see any place for David Feherty to really be full-blown David Feherty. He makes X amount of money. I'm sure he makes a very good living. They pay him a nice dime, but I bet you that LIV Golf walked in and went, we're going to make you the highest paid broadcaster that's not calling an NFL football game. How'd you like to come over here? I mean, the LIV Golf Tour is just throwing money out. They are paying middling golfers ridiculous amounts of money to come and join their tour. So I imagine they've got a very big check for David Feherty to come over and be their lead analyst on golf broadcasts. Feherty is expected to be an analyst on the 8 to 10 LIV Golf tournaments each year, this according to a source. LIV Golf had previously signed former NBC soccer play-by-play guy Arlo White as its host. No, Arlo White. You know, David Feherty, this is golf. You want Americans to tune in to the LIV Golf? David Feherty will do a little bit for that. He'll help you there. He'll help you more than Arlo White will. Feherty, 63, has been known for his irreverence, which he first displayed on CBS for more than 2 decades before moving to NBC and the Golf Channel the past 7 years. The Northern Ireland native was part of NBC's coverage of the British Open over the weekend. NBC declined comment. Feherty didn't immediately return messages. The Saudi-backed LIV Golf Tour has received blowback because of Saudi. Okay, we get it. For its next event, the group... all right, I don't know. See, typically when I go through these stories, I have time to read them. But at the end of the show here, when we just go through all the new things that are popping up, I don't really have my hot takes. Other than, I love him. He's awesome. He's great. Oh, look at that. Mothers against Greg Abbott is trending. All right, folks, that's going to do it. Oh, was it fun to be back doing a high noon show after taking last week off? I'm so happy to be back. Thank you for having me back. Again, if you want to tip and support the show, you can do that by dropping a little something in the Cash App, the Venmo, or the PayPal. I would certainly appreciate that. We need to make X amount of dollars every month in order to keep these shows going, and we do it 100% based upon your kindnesses. Yeah, there we go. Hold on. Hey, did you guys see John Hinckley? John Hinckley, who performs our closing theme. John Hinckley sent out a post yesterday on Twitter where he's looking for his fans to send them pictures. It's like, hey, fans, I want to start a community. Send me your picture. And then he gave his email, like John Hinckley at Yahoo or whatever. He's like, send me a picture and we'll put your picture on the website. So as soon as I sign off this show, I'm going to go in the other room. I'm going to send a picture. I'm going to be on John Hinckley's website. Singer-songwriter. Telling you. There is a parallel universe where John Hinckley is Billy Joel and Billy Joel is John Hinckley. It's true. In an ever-expanding universe, if anything is possible. Hell, in an ever-expanding universe, there is a timeline where I'm John Hinckley and you're me. Everything is possible. Should we do Kelly tonight? I'm going to try and do Kelly Moore tonight. I'm going to reach out to her, make sure that she's available. James Parker and myself, Pugs and Parker, proudly present Pillow Talk. That comes on at 9 p.m. Central Time every Monday evening through Thursday evening at 9 p.m. On Mondays, we bring in my former partner, Kelly Moore. We call it Kelly Moore Mondays on Pugs and Parker proudly present. Far from the comfort nest. Okay, April says the identity and photo of the Indy Mall shooter was released. All right. Hold on, let me pull that up. That's worth taking a look at. Give me a second here. What? Okay. Give me a second here, folks. I don't want to go off half-cocked here. 20 years old. Another fucking kid did this. 20-year-old Jonathan Douglas Spearman, 20 years old, of Greenwood, Indiana, is the shooter. Hold on. We'll show him to you. All right. 20 years old. 20-year-old shooter taken down by 22-year-old hero with a gun. Hold on, we'll show you. Okay. All right. Tomorrow is another day. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm trying to do things in a hurry, and whenever you try and do things in a hurry, you end up not working so well. All right, so here he is. This is your shooter. Boom. There you go. There you go. Look at him. A photo of Greenwood gunman Jonathan Douglas Sapperman, 20, of Greenwood. Now, this is not a I don't know. There you have it. I always assume it's going to be a middle-aged white guy. I always assume it's going to be a guy with a similar life experience to me. You know, I always think in the last three now. Wait. 4. This is 4 in a row. The last 4 mass shootings in this country has been perpetrated by somebody in their early 20s or late teens. So you start out with Buffalo. That was what? That kid was what? 20? Something like that? Then you got Uvalde. Then that kid was 18, right? Then he just turned 18. Then you had the Highland Park shooter. Remember that weird ass kid? That kid was only like 22. And now you got this kid in Indiana. He's 20. These aren't people. I mean, I understand. I don't understand, but I can kind of, work with the idea that a 48-year-old laid off steel worker went a little nuts and decided to kill her. That I kind of get. I kind of understand. 20-year-old kid, what kind of stresses and pressures does a 20-year-old kid have that he decides he's just going to slay a whole bunch of... And look at this kid. This is not a bad-looking kid. Look, the kid, the Highland Park, Illinois, 4th of July shooter, that kid was jacked up looking. That kid was a mess. The Uvalde shooter, that kid, spooky Richard Ramirez looking freak, that dude was a mess. I don't remember what the Buffalo kid looked like. This kid looks like a normal kid. This kid looks normal. Unbelievable. All right. Terrible, terrible, terrible. All right, that's going to do it. We'll be back tonight at 9 o'clock. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Tip the show if you can. Love y'all. Be good. We'll be back at 9 o'clock, and then we'll be back tomorrow at noon. Oh, the shows never stop here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. This has been High Noon, and I'm Hugs Moran. Bye, everybody. I am on a never-ending quest.